Good morning, everyone. Happy Saga Dawa. This is the month of Vaiśākha, according to the Indian calendar, and observed in all Buddhist traditions. Although sometimes the months in various Buddhist cultures can fall 1 month apart. This year, as far as I know, the main Tibetan Himalayan calendar, even in Tibetan Himalayan, there are two different cycles going on. Like in central Tibet, they follow mostly one, and then eastern Tibet, they follow mostly. But in the mainstream Tibetan Himalayan calendar, this month of Vaiśākha corresponds this year with the one that is followed in Southeast Asia, like Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and also the one that is followed in East Asia. These are all what people often call lunar calendars, or to be more accurate, it's a luni-solar calendar. A pure lunar calendar only strictly follows the moon, doesn't take into account the sun. And so as a result, that calendar actually, their months move, as they cycle through. So through the seasons, sometimes it's in January, then in February, in March. That's a pure lunar calendar. In the luni-solar calendar, it's a lunar calendar, but pegged to the movement of the sun. And so then it's stabilized by introducing leap months instead of leap years. So anyway, this year is especially auspicious in that sense, as in like almost all Buddhist cultures are commemorating this month that started 8 days ago. As the month that commemorates many significant events in the life of Buddha Shayamuni. And so I'm going to read to you what in one of Kyoba Rinpoche's teachings, where he talks about this particular festival. He says this offering festival that commemorates the Buddha's full awakening happens on the month of Saga Dawa, the month of Saga. The festivals to commemorate his birth and departure from household life, which took place on the 8th day of that month, on the 8th day, which I believe is actually today. When I was choosing the beginning of our Saga Dawa practice, I was conflicted because yesterday was the 7th day, and in the main Tibetan Buddhist tradition, they say that the 7th day is the day of his birth. In the Theravada tradition, they say birth, enlightenment, parinirvana all happen on the full moon day, on the 15th. But somehow in the Tibetan Himalayan tradition, they say the birth was on the 7th day. Now, interestingly, in the East Asian tradition, they say the birth is on the 8th day, today. I had forgotten that Kyoba Rinpoche also says that it's on the 8th day. But auspicious interdependence, I chose today to start because I knew that I was going to be just back from Mexico, thinking that, I'll be lazy. I'll be back on like Monday late night. Then I thought, better not. Plan to start on Tuesday. As it turned out, I got stuck in Fort Worth, Dallas on Monday night and had to spend a night there and didn't get back until yesterday afternoon. So all of this very nice interdependence. So this morning, as I was choosing the passage to read from Gyoba Rinpoche, I was really surprised and reminded that, according to Gyoba, the birth is on the 8th day. So today is the 8th day, I believe. So the festivals to commemorate his birth and departure from household life took place on the 8th day of the month, the full awakening on the 15th day, and his parinirvana, which is said by some to have also been on the 15th of that month, and by some to have been on the 8th. So there are some different opinions about that. They are all subsumed in the festival of the full awakening, which happens on this month. So the 15th day, the full moon day. So a couple of things that I've learned in this discussion from Gyoba Rinpoche. One is that it is important that when, I think you've heard people say in the Tibetan Himalayan tradition that all acts of virtue created during this month, during this saga month, Saga Dawa, and the effects are multiplied by 1,000,000 times. And so it's the million multiplier miraculous month, million multiplier miraculous month. So, those of you who have hung out around me long enough know that my typical mode when I hear things, especially religious things, is to be suspicious. It's just me, what to say. So I'm like, For a while, I didn't really kind of accept and therefore didn't talk much about this idea of 1,000,000 multiplier. I just feel like it's like some strange, cheating device or something like that, But eventually I came across a very kind of brief in passing mention in Gyoba Rinpoche's teachings, whereby he makes this connection and he says that like such important days, holy days, and if we do practices, we make offerings, the effects are multiplied by a lot. I don't think he said how much. And he said, if we remember that, right, this month is when all these amazing things happened, that the Buddha was born, and then he left his home life, renunciation, then he achieved enlightenment, then he passed away. All of this happened in this month. And if we remember that, it's actually remembering or being mindful of the significance of this month that multiplies the merit. So that's one point. The second point, actually, that I noted just this morning is that in this teachings of the assembly, in the 11th teaching, Gyoba Rinpoche talks about the 4 great festivals. And here he says, where he says, we should observe these 4 festivals. A note that was added by the compiler of this collection, called Dragpa Jumne, one of his 2 main disciples, Dragpa Jumne adds a note here. So I think this is also an interesting point, a helpful point. He says, the Dharma Lord, meaning Jikten Sumgon, established the tradition of making offerings at these 4 festivals. Established in his community in Rirgungte, this tradition of making offerings on the days of the 4 festivals. So the first one is this, the Saga Dawa time. Second festival is the turning of the wheel of Dharma, Chokor Duchen. Then the display of miracles in Shravasti, that's the Chodru Duchen, and then the Buddha's descent, Labab Duchen. So these four Duchens, these four great festivals. And so here he says, the Dharma Lord established this for the sake of Khenpo Shang, Master Tsilungpa, Lopon Tsilungpa, Retring Gomchen, Master Lopon Kebupa, and Khenpo Dharma. The latter was in worldly relations his uncle, and in Dharma relations his master, from whom he learned much about Vajrakilaya and received instructions on it and so forth. He also established this tradition for his parents. So what this tells us is that this was one way that Gyalpa Rinpoche repaid the kindness of his teachers. Khenpo Shang Lopon Tsilungpa. This I remember are the monks that acted as the monastic preceptors when Gyalpa Rinpoche took the monk's vows. Gyalpa Rinpoche didn't take monk's vows until later in his life, at least by Tibetan standards. Actually, even after Pamodrupa passed away. Then Retring Gomchen was who he received a lot of Kadampa training and teachings from. This is before he met Pamodrupa. Lopon Kebupa, I think, is another one of, if I didn't remember wrongly, one of Pamodrupa's students who also gave Gyalpa Rinpoche a lot of teachings. So he then, in other words, he established this tradition of making offerings on these 4 days for his community to repay the kindness of his parents, his biological parents, and his spiritual parents, so to say. So what that tells us then is also that we too can do this. And when we do these practices, when we dedicate in particular, we say in our minds, in our hearts, that we are making this special effort, this special practice during this time in order to repay the kindness, the karmic debt that we owe those who have helped us, who have benefited us through giving us this life, giving us our Dharma lives as well. Okay? So these 2 points. One, it's not so much, like I said, I have a little bit of a problem accepting that, magically all the merit that we create this month multiplies millionfold. But here, Gyalpa Rinpoche, Jikten Sumgon offers this insight that it's our remembering of the significance of this month and then choosing to engage in virtue instead of non-virtue, choosing to engage and to practice the 10 virtuous actions and to avoid the 10 non-virtuous actions, making those decisions based on understanding the significance of this month is what increases merit. Merit is something we need. Merit is the fuel to kind of power our lives. Now, this fuel that powers our life, now then we have to choose, right? Skillfully. Power our lives to do what? Power our lives to engage in actualizing the 2 Bodhicittas. Relative Bodhicitta, ultimate Bodhicitta. To power that. Then on a mundane level, we also need fuel. Without this fuel that we call merit, then even just to maintain, this worldly life, to feel like you have energy waking up daily, to have, good health, and so on and so forth. That things that you do don't keep hitting, like feel like you're hitting against the wall. All of this comes from the fuel of merit or punya. So sometimes in the West, uh, there's some misunderstanding, about the role and the significance of punya, of merit. Merit is the fuel that is needed, the nutrients that is needed for us, so that our activities can unfold in a way that we desire. And deeply, what we desire is happiness. What we don't desire is suffering. Then, on the basis of that, we understand that all beings also desire happiness, don't desire suffering. And just as we wish to achieve happiness and freedom from suffering, therefore, we should also enable and facilitate all beings achieving the freedom from suffering and achieving happiness. So, on this month, during the time when Buddha achieved all these great acts, we will increase our practice of virtue and avoidance of non-virtue. So, in particular, we are going to practice the Buddha Shayamuni sadhana and meditations that His Holiness the Drigun Kyabgun compiled based on the sutras. So somebody, Rene, just quickly shared the link for that text again. If you don't have it today, it's fine. You can just listen, and practice along. And practice is, after all, most important is from the mind level, and not just from the speech level. Anyway, we're going to begin with the usual opening recitations that we often do, beginning with generating Bodhicitta, both in the aspiration and action Bodhicitta, then followed by so these words that we use for generating action and aspiration and action Bodhicitta, they are the words of Kyopa Jikten Sumgon. And of course, this month also commemorates the parinirvana, the great passing away of Kyopa Jikten Sumgon, right, in the 12th century. And this is commemorated on the 25th day of this month. So we begin with the aspiration and action Bodhicitta, followed by the Refuge, 4-line Refuge recitation. That one is by Atisha. And then meditating, cultivating the 4 immeasurables. And those words are taken from the sutras. Om, the sentient beings limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All other sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect Precious Bodhi, O Mother, sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until Bodhi is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until Bodhi is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. In one of the commentaries to the Vajravarahi Sadhana, one of the Indian commentaries, an explanation is given to the significance of the immeasurable mind of joy, where it occurs. It says that whereas we begin by meditating, cultivating immeasurable loving kindness, the wish for well-being for all beings, the wish that all beings be happy, the wish that all beings are at ease, followed by the wish, the immeasurable mind of compassion, wishing all beings to be free from suffering. There, the commentary says that Sometimes as a result of contemplating the suffering of all beings and our wish for all beings to be free from suffering, and even our wish for all beings to have happiness, when we contemplate that, when we cultivate that, sometimes we might feel like this task is so big, this task is so huge, this task seems so impossible that unintentionally, accidentally, we can become discouraged. And so, to prevent that, to counteract that, the Buddha then taught that we should cultivate and meditate on immeasurable joy. So this joy then is related to the paramita of effort, sometimes called the paramita of joyful effort, that we do not become discouraged, especially for many of us, maybe these days, especially if we pay attention to news and all the troubles, all the difficulties. And some of these difficulties are precisely the difficulties where it might be difficult, it might be challenging. On the one hand, we feel, oh, this side is right in this way. And on the other hand, oh, that side is right in that way. But this side and that side is in conflict, especially those types of conflicts that some might feel caught in between. And with those types especially, then the fourth of the four immeasurables of equanimity is very important. Equanimity is cultivating the ability to see that we are all the same in the sense of wanting happiness and not wanting suffering, but often we create all kinds of problems because we cannot see that point. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said, from the most sublime person that you can think of to the worst person that you can think of, everything that they do is motivated by their desire for happiness. So the cure for all suffering is the removal of the klesas, the afflictive emotions. And so for that purpose, we practice Dharma. And only when we ourselves have removed completely all the obscurations can we become Buddha, awake, and as Buddha benefit beings, just as Buddha Shayamuni has greatly benefit beings for attaining the state of Buddha. And with this motivation, now we engage in the Shakyamuni Buddha practice. This Shakyamuni Buddha practice, as I said, was compiled by His Holiness the Drigong Gyabgun. In this practice, we first begin by reflecting on the qualities of the three jewels, the qualities of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And this is taken from the words of the Buddha. We call recollecting the virtues of the Buddha, then the virtues and the qualities of Dharma, and the virtues and quality of Sangha. So this is on page 5 in the document that we circulated. In Sanskrit, Arya Buddha Anusmriti. In English, recollection of the noble Buddha. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In this way, the Bhagavan Buddha is the Tathagata, the full destroyer, the perfect and complete Buddha, the one who possesses great awareness and grounds the Sugata, the knower of the world, the turner of the wheel that tames beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of all gods and men, the Buddha, the Bhagavan. Such Tathagatas are concordant with meritorious causes, their roots of virtues not wasted, and are wearing the beauty of patience. They are treasure grounds of the merits and are adorned with the minor marks. The flowers of the major marks have bloomed, and their activities are precise and appropriate, nothing unpleasant upon seeing them, and they deeply admire those who devote faithfully. Their intelligence is unsurpassed, and they are indomitable in terms of their powers. They are teachers of all sentient beings, fathers of all bodhisattvas, kings of all noble beings, guides for those who travel to the city of nirvana with unfathomable wisdom and inconceivable courage. They have absolutely pure speeches, pleasant melodies, enhancing faces, and incomparable bodies. They are unsullied by the desire realm, absolutely unsullied by the form realms, and untouched by the formless realms, completely free from the aggregates, free of the constituents, and with the sense fields restrained. Having completely cut the knots, they are totally free from the agonies, utterly free from craving. They have crossed over the rivers, and their wisdom is absolutely perfect. They abide within the wisdom of the Bhagavan Buddhas of past, future, and present. They do not abide in nirvana, abide at the limits of perfect reality, and sit on the stage from where they look upon all sentient beings. These are the great qualities of the Tathagata's perfect wisdom and of remembering the noble Buddha. In Sanskrit, Dharma Anusmriti, in English, recollection of the Dharma, homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The sublime Dharma is perfectly delivered. It is the practice of chastity. It is virtuous in the beginning, virtuous in the middle, and virtuous at the end, perfect in meaning, perfect in words, uncorrupted, totally thorough, totally pure, totally impeccable. It is the Vinaya Dharma, well thought out by the Bhagavan Buddha. It is perfectly discovered, free from maladies, free from interruptions, well aimed, meaningful to behold, and to be seen by the wise individually on their own. It is the perfectly taught Vinaya Dharma, which paves the way for complete awakening for the renunciates. It is free from inconsistency and endowed with consistency. It is endowed with the foundation, and the perpetual path has ceased in it, and of remembering the Dharma. In Sanskrit, Sangha Anusmriti, in English, recollection of the Sangha, homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The noble Sanghas are those who proceed with propriety, proceed with appropriacy, proceed with conformity, and proceed with honesty. They are worthy of offering prostrations and worthy of putting the palms together. They are great beings with complete mastery of the qualities who purify the gifts of offerings completely. They are worthy of generosity, worthy of generosity by all, and of remembering the Sangha. The qualities of Buddha are inconceivable. The sublime Dharma is likewise inconceivable. The noble Sangha is inconceivable. When one has faith in the inconceivable, its ripening is also inconceivable. May I be born in the land of complete purity. Om Bhadra Amrita Kundali Hana Hana Hum Pe. This mantra clears or purifies the space in front of us. And from within this cleared space would arise the Guru, Buddha Shakyamuni, which is in the next part. Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddhoham. From the state of emptiness arises a wheel of protection. In the center of that is a throne that is held up by powerful men and lions. Upon that, on the scene made of lotus, moon, and sun, is a mum syllable in golden color, which completely transforms into the teacher Shakya Raja, who radiates golden lights like refined gold. He is ornamented with the 32 major marks and 80 minor marks. His right hand is in the earth-touching gesture, and the left in the gesture of equipoise. He sits with his two legs in the Vajra posture, wearing the 3 Dharma robes in saffron color like the clouds at sunrise. He is as magnificent as 100,000 suns, and in the pores of his body there are the 1002 Buddhas of the fortunate Eon, who appear clearly yet are without substance. So think of yourself now in the presence of Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni is your root guru. Rely on Buddha Shakyamuni as our guru, for he is the common guru for all Buddhist practitioners. Now, the 7 branches of puja or offering, excerpted from the sutra. To each and every one of the lions among humans who move in the 3 times in the worlds of the 10 directions, I pay homage to them all with my body, speech, and sincere mind by the power of their aspirations to engage in the perfect conducts. All conquerors are vividly present in the direct vision of my mind, with bodies as numerous as atoms in the world. I bow completely to all conquerors. On one atom, Buddhas and numerous as all atoms, all each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. And I visualize that the expanse of all phenomena is completely filled with conquerors in this way. Through an infinite ocean of praise for you, vocalized in an ocean of myriad melodies, I shall tell of the qualities of you, conquerors, and praise all of you, Sugatas. Superior flowers and superior garlands, musical instruments, ointments, and excellent parasols, grand oil lamps, and superior incense. I offer them to you, conquerors, splendid costumes, and ambrosia scents, heaps of incense powder, as high as Mount Meru, and the most excellent of the race. I offer them to all you conquerors. Offerings that are unsurpassed and vast are also directed to all you conquerors through the power of faith and perfect conduct. I pay homage to you, conquerors, and make offerings. Whatever non-virtues I have committed with my body, speech, and mind, influenced by attachment, anger, and ignorance, I confess each and every one. I rejoice in the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions of solitary realizers, of hearers still in training, and those beyond, and of all migratory beings. You who are the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who have attained the desireless state of Buddhahood through the stages of awakening, I beseech all you lords of beings to turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With my palms put together, I pray those of you who miss to enter parinirvana, please stay for the happiness and well-being of all migratory beings. For eons as numerous as atoms of the earth, the small amount of virtue that I have accumulated by paying homage, offering, confessing, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, I dedicate all of it for the sake of awakening. Next is the visualization for the recitation of the root mantra for Buddha Shayamuni. Generated in front is Munindra, the Lord of the Dharma. In his heart is a syllable of golden color, surrounded by A Muni mantra plays clockwise from that rays of light radiate, make offerings to all conquerors and their children. Return and illuminate on all sentient beings in the six realms, thereby freeing them from their sufferings and purifying their karmic obscurations. Then the light rays dissolve into the mantra in the heart of the front generation. Once again, the rays of light radiate, allowing the blessing to penetrate my mind and purify the two obscurations and establishing me in the state of unsurpassed awakening. Om Mune Mune Maha Munaya Swaha. 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 Om Muni Muni 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 Maha Munaya Swaha. At the time of your birth, chief of two-legged beings, you took 7 steps on this great earth and declared, I am the most excellent one in this world. I pay homage to you who even then were wise. You first descended from Tushita heaven and entered your mother's womb at Rajagriha, sage born in the garden of Lumbini. Bhagavan, God of gods, I pay homage to you in the celestial mansion. You were served by 8 and 4 nursemaids in the city of Shakya. You enjoyed the pleasures of youth in the land of Kapilavastu. You married Gopa, one without peer in the 3 worlds. I pay homage to you after the displays of sadness at the 4 entrances to the city. You shave off your hair in front the stupor of absolute purity and practice asceticism on the banks of Nairanja river, one free from the defects of the 2 obscurations. I pay homage to you. You subdued a mad elephant in Rajagriha, and the monkeys in Vaishali offered you honey. Sage truly awakened at Magadha, one who illuminates with the light of insight and wisdom. I pay homage. You turn the wheel of Dharma at Varanasi, perform great miracles at Jetavana, and attain parinirvana at Kushinagara, one whose heart is as profound as space. I pay homage to you. Thus is the Bhagavan, the Lord of the Dharma. By the virtue of this brief praise of your deeds, may the actions of all beings also become like your deeds, O Sugata. Tathagata, may I and all beings become just like you, with a body, retinue, lifespan, Buddha field, an excellent name like yours. By the power of praising and supplicating you, may sickness, evil spirits, poverty, and conflict be pacified wherever I and the rest live, and may you make the Dharma and auspiciousness proliferate. May teachers come to the world and the teaching shine like the rays of the sun. May holders of the teachings, disciples, discourses, and practice flourish, and may there be the auspiciousness of the teachings remaining here for a long time. Now from the conclusion, Buddha Shakyamuni in the space in front is going to dissolve into you. Then you, in stages, will dissolve. And when you have finally relinquished and dissolve all visualization, just then remaining in the natural state, according to the instructions in the notes here. His Holiness said, then you turn your attention to the breath that is entering and exiting your body. In other words, practice mindfulness of breathing. The front generation Bhagavan, the Lord of the Dharma, melts into light and dissolves into the Muni mantra circle, which then dissolves into the Mum syllable. As the Mum syllable dissolves into the spot between my eyebrows, my body, speech, and mind become inseparable from the exalted body, speech, and mind of the conquerors. Then we end with these aspirations. That is from this collection called the Arya Ratnakutta, and more specifically, I believe is part of Maitreya's aspirations, which we have been doing as well in our morning practice. So now page 27. I pay homage to all the Buddhas. I pay homage to the Bodhisattva rishis who possess divine eyes, as well as to the hearers. I pay homage to Bodhicitta, which precludes all bad realms and shows the path to the higher realms, thereby guiding one to the state without aging and death. Whatever evil deeds I have done, under the domination of my mind, I approach the Buddhas. I confess them all. I have accumulated a collection of merit through the three types of actions. Through this seed of omniscience I have, may I attain the inexhaustible awakening in the pure lands of the 10 directions. Whatever offerings are made in which the enlightened Buddhas rejoice, I too rejoice in them. I confess all evil deeds and rejoice in all meritorious deeds. I pay homage to all Buddhas. May I attain the supreme wisdom. I request the Bodhisattvas dwelling on the 10th stage, all quarters of the 10 directions, to awaken into supreme awakening. Having awakened into supreme awakening and defeated the Maras and their army, may you turn the wheel of Dharma for the welfare of all living beings through the sound of the great drum of Dharma. May sentient beings become liberated from their sufferings for limitless billions of eons. May you continue to give Dharma teachings. May the excellent ones among two-legged beings take care of me as I am sunk in the mud of desire, bound with the tightrope of existence and trapped by all kinds of fetters. You Buddhas do not despise those whose minds make them impure. You have the heart of loving kindness for all sentient beings. May you free them from the ocean of existence, following in the steps of the completely awakened Buddhas who are present, those of the past and those who are yet to come. May I engage in bodhisattva activities. Having completed the 6 perfections, may I liberate sentient beings of the 6 realms. Having actualized the 6 super knowledges, may I reach the unsurpassable awakening. May I realize the Dharma of emptiness, wherein there is no arising, no occurring, no nature, no abode, no mental cognition, and no entities like Buddha, the great Rishi. May I realize the Dharma, wherein there is no sentient being, no life force, no person, no reviving, and no self. Without resorting to self-fixation and the things fixated upon as mine, may I have no stinginess and give gifts for the welfare of all sentient beings. As things do not exist as things, my pleasures be spontaneously present, and as all things fall apart, may I complete the perfection of generosity. Unerring in the prescribed moral ethics, may I possess utterly pure moral ethics. With morality devoid of conceit, may I complete the perfection of moral ethics. Just like the earth, water, fire, or wind, may I not dwell in anger, and with patience free from anger. May I complete the perfection of patience through the effort of initiating effort. May I have perpetual joy without laziness. With a powerful body and mind, may I complete the perfection of effort through the illusion like equipoise, the brave progression equipoise, and the diamond-like equipoise. May I complete the perfection of meditative concentration through the three doors of complete liberation, the sameness of the three times, and the actualization of the three knowledges. May I complete the perfection of excellent wisdom with words of praise for all the Buddhas, with brilliant light and blazing magnificence, and through my efforts to do as the Bodhisattvas do, may all my aspirations be fulfilled. Through my having engaged in such activities, may my loving kindness become renowned, and may I thus complete the 6 perfections and abide fully at the culmination of the 10 stages. Changchu Sem Chorim Poje Mage Bonam Ge Gurji Ge Banyam Pa Me Pa Ya Gone Gongdu Dewan Sho Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise; where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Okay, we have finished today's practice for Saga Dawa. Again, good to see all of you after 2 weeks of absence. Just for your planning and schedule, we can probably meet for this next 2 weeks. And then after that, I am gone again. I'm going to be on the road. First to Ladakh for 2 weeks, and then to Malaysia for 4 weeks. So anyway, for these 2 weeks, we'll continue with these Saga Dawa practices, and then until I think slightly after the full moon of Saga Dawa. So this Saga Dawa series is not for 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, but after that we'll resume the Great Big One teachings to the assembly a little bit before I leave. So thank you so much, all of you. Have a good day, and choose to engage in virtue and avoid non-virtue. Bye-bye, everyone.